Over the last 7 years, the New Zealand government spent $32 million on a biometric IT upgrade that delivered absolutely nothing. Today, our national border security is still running on an algorithm built in 2012. The project was called the Biometric Capability Update, or BCU. It was supposed to modernize how the country checks identities and prevents border fraud. When the failure finally became public, Immigration Minister Stanford held a press conference. She performed absolute fury. She told reporters she was ambushed, claiming her officials had fed her complete fiction about the project's progress. But documents obtained by RNZ and analyzed by the Māori Green Lantern tell a different story. Stanford was not ambushed. She had written warnings about the impending collapse of this project for over a year, yet she kept signing the checks. This is a carefully choreographed performance, a calculated political cover-up designed to launder a minister's reputation while the public foots the bill. To understand how the cover-up works, we have to look at who knew what and when. Long before Stanford pulled the plug, independent consultants had already raised massive red flags. This timeline plots the project's known warnings. Right here in 2023, an independent quality assurance report explicitly told management they doubted the project would deliver at all and formally questioned its continuation. Then we move to April 2024. MBIE Chief Executive Carolyn Tremaine sent Stanford a letter containing a written apology. Tremaine admitted there was a clear mismatch between what officials actually knew and the advice they were feeding the minister. With concrete evidence of failure and misdirection in her hands, Stanford had the power to stop the bleeding. Instead, she cited the sunk costs of the project and let it run. For another 19 months, she allowed this doomed system to consume millions in public funding. That decision prioritized political comfort over the protection of public resources. But ignoring the warnings was only the first part of the strategy. The second was controlling the flow of information out of the Ministry of Business, Innovation, and Employment. An independent review authored by Greg James uncovered exactly how that control was maintained. The report confirmed that staff working on the BCU were actively replaced specifically because they raised concerns about the project's viability. When pressed by journalists, the ministry flatly refused to state how many whistleblowers were sidelined, penalized, or pushed out for doing their jobs. As for the managers who falsified the reports and silenced those workers, their names exist on a list that the public is legally barred from seeing. The internal machinery of government is functioning as intended, weaponizing urgency to silence dissent and protecting its reputation over the truth. This brings us to the third part of the strategy. To deal with the public fallout, Stanford requested an integrity investigation led by Public Service Commissioner Sir Brian Roche. Roche gave an interview explicitly outlining his goal. He stated his job is to restore the confidence of ministers in officials. He did not mention delivering accountability to the taxpayers, whose money vanished. This flowchart maps how a standard investigation should work, but Roche skipped the crucial steps. Before setting a single term of reference or interviewing a single witness, Roche publicly pre-cleared the current MBIE chief executive, Nick Blakely, of any direct accountability. He then announced the investigation would take 3 to 4 months. By the time any findings are published, the news cycle will have moved on, and the public's attention will be somewhere else. This is the Crown investigating the Crown, a structural performance aimed at manufacturing absolution. While the public is distracted by this investigation, a much larger, higher-risk project is quietly advancing in the background. The $32 million wasted on the first system is dwarfed by the $336 million budget for Our Future Services. Stanford entrusted this massive replacement to the exact same ministry whose advice she publicly labeled as complete fiction. But the red flags are already flying. In its first 4 months alone, the foundation system for this new software has suffered over 550 production defects, missing visa applications and causing widespread outages. Because the investigation is delayed and the names of the responsible officials remain redacted, the managers who engineered the $32 million collapse could be running the $336 million sequel right now. This bureaucratic waste stands in stark contrast to the government's simultaneous claims that the budget is empty for Māori health providers and community housing. Biometric data collection is a core matter of Te Tiriti o Waitangi and Māori data sovereignty. The Crown failed its duty of kaitiatanga, guardianship, by gambling these resources on a broken system. True accountability requires unredacted names, immediate suspensions for those who suppressed whistleblowers, and an independent judicial inquiry into the minister's own decision-making. Erica Stanford's fury is a manufactured mirage. Until the public rejects this architecture of impunity, whānau will continue to foot the bill for the Crown's generational failures.